11C. We're doing integrating involving inverse trig functions. This we're doing in 11B, we derived inverse trig functions, and now we're integrating. We're using the same rule. Notice while it says integrating involving inverse trig functions, look at the examples that I've done we want to integrate to start with. None of them have inverse trig functions, but our answers will. So let's concentrate on the first two to start with. If you remember looking back at the rules that are stated, and the ones we did in 11B, we're just working in opposite. The one with the positive on top is going to be sine, and there's a negative, it's going to be cos. So this one's just going to be sine -1 x on 3 plus c. It's 3 because the square root of 9 is 3, because the 9 represents the a squared in the rule. Looking at the second one, -1, so that's where it's going to go cos, -1, and that will be x over 5, plus c because it's an indefinite integral, 5 because it's a square root of 25. Oh, sorry. Then we move on to our tan ones. Notice we differentiate that it's going to be a tan because there's no square root sign. If there is the square root sign, we're going to either sine or cos. No square root sign, it's going to be tan. Now the first one is directly an application of the rule, because the rule says the integral of a over a squared plus x squared is tan to the -1 x over a. All right, we know that 2 squared is 4. So this is going to straight play out to be tan -1 x over 2 plus c. So a direct application of our rule. The 2 is the 2 on top, and the 2 also has to be here, 2 squared. So that's a direct application rule. But when we get down to the next one, which is fairly similar, I agree, we've only got a 1 on top. Now this is 2 squared, but we don't have a 2 on top. And we've got to do a little bit of fudge with the numbers. We want the 2 on top. So I make this 2, so I put a half out the front. So it's really, I haven't really changed the value. So my answer will then be a half tan -1 x on 2 plus c. We'll look at that a bit more closely in the next ones, where we need to play around a little bit with the numbers. Okay, but these were the basic ones.